Let's read this article right here. Act of genocide. Eugenics program tried to breed out black people in North Carolina, reports say. This is an article by Haley Fowler, updated August 18, 2020, originally made July 22nd, 2020. Y'all see that? Act of genocides. Eugenics. So when we talk about eugenics, just think when you see eugenics, you can interchange that for genocide. Eugenics is just a fancy word for genocide. So anytime we talk about B shots and stuff, we have to understand the eugenic movement. Do you see why we're tying that into our show today? Anytime we're talking about B shots, we have to talk about eugenics movement. And in our next part, we're going to bring it all together, and that's how we're going to talk about inattention. Like, what is your real attention? Why do y'all really want to get us off the earth? What would be your real reason to want to get us off the earth? Why, like, you have no right, and it would never happen, because we don't die, we multiply. It would never happen, because we are the foundation of what humanity is. We are the foundation of what life is. We are the foundation. We're created with the foundation of the earth, so it would never happen. We've been here for millions of years. The Negro race is the oldest race on earth. European people admit that. So that would never happen. But just remember, when you hear eugenics, just think of genocide, because it's pretty much the same thing, because nobody gave European people the right to see who they should be able to breed through and breed from. Breed in and breed out. You don't have that right. You don't have that right. Who are you? Nobody. And I'm talking about the ones at the top, who people like Margaret Sanger and Dr. C.J. Campbell, who was in on this. I'm not talking about Jenny next door, or who you work with, or Brad, the ones with common sense, the ones with love in their hearts. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones who really, really running some shit, or even black people who are down with this particular program too. Any of y'all. Anybody against who's trying to commit genocide against another group of people. I'm talking about them. But let's get right in here. This article, the genocide in North Carolina, or eugenics movement. For more than 4 decades, North Carolina statewide eugenics program forcibly sterilized almost 7,600 people, many of whom were black. That wasn't a coincidence, according to a new academic paper. Duke University professor William A. Darity Jr. co-authored a report published in the American Review of Political Economy that correlates 10 years of forced sterilizations in countries across the state, and counties across the state, with the number of unemployed black residents. Finding the program was all but designed to breed them out, according to a university news release. This suggests that for blacks, eugenic sterilizations were authorized and administered with the aim of reducing their numbers in the future population. Genocide by any other name, the paper states. Eugenics is another word for the selective breeding of humans. What I just told y'all. You can take eugenics and genocide, it's the same thing. And they're telling you these people was sterilizing people, these people were sterilizing these people through immunizations, and making them, through immunization, they was making these people sterile. This establishment had already did it. This happened in North Carolina. It's telling you right here. 7,600 people. This suggests that for blacks, yeah, we read that part. I'm going to read it again. This suggests for blacks, eugenic sterilizations were authorized and administered with the aim of reducing their numbers in the future populations. Genocide by any other name, the paper states. Eugenics is another word for selective breeding of humans. From 1924 to 1974, North Carolina eugenics program sterilized close to 7,600 men and women, making it impossible for them to reproduce or conceive, according to the Justice for Sterilization Victims Foundation. The foundation was established by the North Carolina Department of Administration in 2010 to pay reparations to the surviving victims of the state eugenics program. Legislators ultimately set aside $10 million in the state budget to pay those victims, the News and Observer reported. The first checks written for $20,000 each were mailed to 220 of those survivors in 2014, and they should have got way more than $20,000. It just shows you that, and The United States government knows this. This is public record. They shot some stuff up in people, and they made them sterile. If you don't know your history, you are bound to repeat it. The law does not, however, apply to individuals who were sterilized by local health or welfare department, the Charlotte Observer reported later that year. North Carolina Eugenics program was one of many in the U.S. targeting people with illnesses or disabilities living in the state and tuitions, but it was later touted as one of several solutions to poverty and illegitimacy. The illegitimacy. Basically, this word right here, illegit. That word means when basically people have kids out of wedlock. You know, they try to look at people, single mothers, even though many, they have a whole show, 16 and Pregnant on MTV, showing young European girls having babies, single parents, but they always want to apply that to black people. But so they want to it was later touted as one of several solutions to poverty and I ain't gonna go there. To illegitimate kids. Let me say that. To illegitimate kids. So they were trying to read out the poverty-stricken people and illegitimate kids. That meant sterilization petitions weren't just submitted by hospitals, but also by local welfare officials and county board of commissioners, according to Darity Papers. As such, the scope of North Carolina eugenics sterilization law extended directly to recipients of public welfare, the paper states. So if you was getting welfare, they were committing genocide against you. And this happened in the United States, and you can go read the article for yourself. If you do it, you can find it. It was in the News and Observer, and you can find the article.